What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and today's challenge will be kind of a repeat challenge. But today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Alpha Sapphire using only shiny fire type Pokemon? Little backstory, I've actually done fire only mono type hardcore Nuzlocke in the past and I actually failed it, even though it got 56,000 views. So of course I'm gonna try to redeem myself because I actually been thinking about this. I don't know why, it's been like 2 years since I've done this run. I always think about this from time to time. I'm like, maybe I could try it again. It was pretty grueling. You'll see why. It takes a lot of patience to do. We're gonna try to attempt it. We're also gonna try to make it a shiny only challenge. It's gonna be a hardcore Nuzlocke shiny only challenge with the hardest mono type in Hoenn. Hoenn, if you guys do not know, Hoenn is just filled with water. So most of the time you can find a bunch of water type Pokemon, and also we're playing on Alpha Sapphire, so the evil team of this game is based off the ocean anyway, so they're gonna have a lot of Sharpedos. They're gonna be really difficult to beat. So the rules should be on screen right now. It's gonna be a hardcore Nuzlocke. I can only catch one fire type Pokemon per route, which ironically will come in. There's not a lot of fire type Pokemon somehow overlap and it gets annoying. I can only get one Pokemon per gym badge, which I mean shouldn't matter anyways. And as well, each of my Pokemon only has one life, so if they do ever faint, they are gone. They must be boxed and never used again. As well, there's gonna be a level cap, which is gonna be the highest level in each gym leader's team. And as well, you can't use items inside of battle. You can use hell items of course, but you can't use potions or any bag items. And as well, you must play on set mode, so there's a bunch of rules, very difficult, but also including that some fun rules. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, so thanks so much for leaving a nickname in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after your future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. I've actually finished school for the year. I'm taking some courses over the summer as well, just to speed up getting my degree from my university, but I don't have to go to school anymore, so it's gonna be better for me and better for my videos, as I'm able to make more videos at home and I just kind of chill at home for a long time into obviously the fall. But it's summer break for me. I get pretty early May summer break. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video. So our first Pokemon, we're gonna have to shiny hunt for our starter Pokemon, which is gonna be Torchic. I mean, it's actually pretty optimal because Torchic's in the middle, and it's when you open the bag, it goes directly to the middle Pokemon. You just don't have to mess around with the directional key, so it's actually quite faster. It doesn't seem like it saves a lot of time, but it'll save a lot of time over the long term. But anyways, once we actually get ourselves a shiny Torchic, that's not the hardest part of this challenge actually, so we'll get to that. Once we get a shiny Torchic, we almost lose to our rival, which is pretty bad, even though I'm a level higher. So that's great. Anyways, we move on into the Petalburg Woods. Actually, doesn't matter if we're in the woods or not. We have to get to level 10 specifically, so we get Sand Attack. Now, Sand Attack is the only way we can actually get past this first gym. So I'm going to show you a representation of what it looks like of me fighting a rock type Pokemon. Almost kills me, and I'm 4 levels above it, so we have to rely on Sand Attack. So we're going to face off against the first gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Roxanne. And our strategy for her, we're going to start the battle off against her using my Torchic. She's going to start the battle off against us using a Geodude. And I have to use Sand Attack 6 times, so it maximizes its accuracy drop. This thing decided not to actually miss. I hit it with a Sand Attack again. It hits me with a Rock Tomb. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I could take one. As long as I can knock this thing out. It dodges another one, and then it uses Defense Curl, which, I mean, it's great for me, right? I go for the final Sand Attack to get a -6, and it of course lands through every single accuracy drop, and then it kills me. Well, I blacked out, and that's basically the end of the challenge. Goodbye, everyone. I'm just kidding. I was thinking about just soft resetting and saying like, you know what, I'm just gonna get here anyways, but I decided that's not really fun. So I normally would have just soft reset and told you guys, but I went through the process of deleting everything, restarting completely, and then started shiny hunting. And yeah, we went back to shiny hunting immediately after that, get ourselves another shiny Torchic, went back to Roxanne, and this is what happened. So our second attempt with our Torchic, we died. Very, very fast death. So yeah, our third attempt, 3 attempts in, we finally face off against Roxanne, and this is the moment. We hit the Sand Attack and misses a Rock Tomb. It hits me with a Rock Tomb. No, it actually hits me with 2 Rock Tombs, which is unfortunate, but from there it just misses every move. I'm in Blaze range, so it actually is optimal for me. I'm able to knock out the Geodude. Don't get a burn though, which would have been way better, but her Nose Pass comes out next. I'm able to Sand Attack into it, and it just used Tackle and Harden, and it keeps missing. Actually, it specifically goes for Harden constantly. That's great for us because Ember is a special attacking move. We're fine with that. Once we get all the accuracy drops, we're able to hit him with an Ember, and it just keeps missing every move. It does get a Tackle off against me. Actually gets a Potion and a Tackle off against me, but I live it, and I'm able to chip it down even more, and I'm able to knock out the nose pass, and we cleared through Roxanne. The nose pass is the weakest one because Judy just kept going for rock tombs, but once we get to the nose pass, we're able to clear through Roxanne, and we don't have to shiny reset anymore. From there, it's gonna be a long while before we even get our next fire type Pokemon, so we just have to play with our Combuskin, which we evolve. And you know what, I had to tinker with the XP a little bit because there's a lot of trainers, so I went over the level cap and then went back in my editor just to change the XP because gaining too much XP. I'll be at the right level as I face off against Brawly next. Brawly's going to be the fighting type gym leader in the game. He's going to start the battle off against us using Machop. My pack does decent. 2 shots to Machop, but then it doesn't do enough damage against the Makuhita, as I'm able to just Ember and do more damage against him. So yeah, we're just going to use Ember and knock out the Makuhita. Very easy gym for us compared to the last gym. Now, the easy fights are not coming just yet as we face off against May next. This is the notorious hardest rival battle fight, I think, in the series. Hardest early game rival battle fight. I mean, obviously red later on is harder. Obviously champion blue is harder. But anyways, we're gonna get 2 bulk ups against her Shroomish. We get paralyzed though, which is unfortunate. Then we can go for a double kick against the Marshtomp as it goes for a bide. I was expecting any other move, but it went for bide. So as long as we don't get paralyzed, which we don't, we're able to knock out the Marshtomp, and we're able to also beat down her Slugma, as we're barely able to clear through May. That could have went really badly, but it didn't. So we're gonna move on into Mauville City and get ourselves the TM for Power Punch. Once we get Power Punch, we can teach that to our Combuskin and also add a Cherry Berry onto Combuskin as a hell item for this next gym fight. So we're going to face off against Wattson. Watson's going to be the electric gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Combuskin. Now Combuskin is able to go for a Power Punch pretty easy against the Magnemite as he tries to use Thunder Wave against me. We block it with a Cherry Berry, and we get another Power Punch against him. He's going to eventually just let us knock him out, so we get Flame Charge to boost our speed, and we're also going to Power Punch. No, we Double Kick for some reason against Voltorb. But I guess it doesn't matter as I'm able to Double Kick once. Oh, I went for Power Punch against the Magneton. Doesn't make any sense what I'm doing, but I still one-shot everything as we're able to beat down Wattson. Here's the easy fights. Now we actually have access into the next route, which is Route 112. This is the next route for our next shiny Pokemon, so we can go out here and start shiny hunting for our next Pokemon. Now we have to be optimal here. We have to shiny hunt in this route first, and we get ourselves a shiny Numel as our first fire type Pokemon that we have to catch, which is really nice. From there, once we catch Numel, we go into the fiery path, and the reason why we got Numel first, because you can get Numel in here as well, and also including a Slugma and a Torkoal, and this is the only spot where all 3 of them spawn. Especially Slugma and Torkoal, this is the only spot they spawn, so I can't get anything else besides these 3 Pokemon for now. Eventually, find ourselves a shiny Slugma, which we actually wanted because it's slightly faster, fully evolved to Torkoal, and also get Shell Smash earlier. So technically it's a better Pokemon, ironically. Torkoal's technically a better Pokemon, but for this run it's better. So we got ourselves a Slugma, and then we go back into Sleeport City and get ourselves a Heart Scale, which I didn't know was here. But we get ourselves a Heart Scale, and we also get Yawn on our Slugma, which is going to be a really nice move coming up. It's going to be very useful. And then from there, we try to train up our Numel. We almost lost our Numel to this Team Aqua admin. So we almost lost it to Shelly. That would have been really bad, but we didn't. So we move on and we face off against Flannery next. Flannery is going to be the fire type gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Combuskin, because we're going to hide Slugma and Numel in the back and not use them for a little bit. But we're going to start the battle off against her using my Combuskin to Power Punch, easily just knock out the Slugma, and then her next Pokemon will be a Numel. She went for a Power Punch, but Rock Tomb would knock her out the same way anyways. And then her final Pokemon will be a Torkoal, which I go for a Rock Tomb, survive on Overheat easily, and then another Rock Tomb would knock her out. As we're able to beat down Flannery, actually thinking back to it, Torkoal would have been pretty good because it's defensive, physically defensive. It should be fine either way. From there, we're going to face off against Norman next. Norman is going to be the Norm type gym leader in the game. We're going to rush him, and we start the battle off against him using my Slugma, ironically. We go for a Yawn. Now, the reason I did this is because I want to put the Slacking to sleep. But ironically, it didn't work out so well because my Slugma almost went down. It goes to sleep. I get a Power Punch off against him, and then he's going to go for Yawn, and I have no choice here. I have to stay in, so I go for a Flame Charge, and it works out because he has the Truant, and I wake up on my second turn, which is really nice. We're able to knock him down to low HP, and then he retaliates, crit me, almost knocks me out, which is really bad. But we're able to Power Punch and knock him out, and since we have a Flame Charge up, we should be able to outspeed everything as he sends out his Vigoroth next, which I'm able to double kick, knock him out, and then his final Pokemon will be his Ace Slacking. We do not want this thing to hit us, and lucky enough it doesn't, as we're able to one-shot it with a double kick, or two-shot it, and we're able to beat down Norman, and we're getting our 5th gym badge, I believe, so that's pretty nice. From there, we can get ourselves a Latias. I mean, it's not a fire type Pokemon. We're just going to use it for HMs, for legendary Pokemon. From there, this is important. We need to get a bunch of citrus berries. So you saw how well it did against Wattson. So obviously, berries can be very important. And then from there, we're going to face up against Winona next. Winona's going to be the flying type gym leader in the game. Now, Winona's going to start the battle off against us using a Swallow. I start the battle off against her using my Combuskin. Now, Boca boosts physical defense, which works pretty well against her. And we also have a citrus berry up. Things are actually working out for us as we're able to get a flame charge off as he's using double team. We're able to eventually get all our speed up and then knock out the Swallow, and then her next Pokemon will be an Altaria. Since I have like +3 up, I'm able to Rock Tomb and knock out the Altaria in one shot, which is really nice. Her next Pokemon, I mean, her team is basically done. Her next Pokemon will be a Pelipper. As long as I don't miss Rock Tomb, which I don't, I'm able to knock out the Pelipper and also the Skarmory in one shot, as we're able to beat down Winona and also evolve our Combuskin into a Blaziken. Yay! We have a fully evolved Pokemon. Actually, our Numa Evolve, I just didn't change the icon. So, we'll change that in a little bit. From there, we're going to move into Mount Pyre, which we can finally Shiny Hunt for our next Pokemon, which is going to be pretty useful in the later bits of the game. We're going to Shiny Hunt for our Vulpix in the grass here. And Vulpix, for some reason, does not want to spawn. It takes forever to even find this thing. But eventually, we find ourselves a Shiny Vulpix, and then we're going to add that to our team. The Shiny does not look that great. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be better. I forgot how bad Shiny Vulpix was, but from there we can go into the Team Aqua hideout, finally use a different Pokemon in camera up, and then beat down Team Aqua admin Max, I believe. We also use Mega Blaziken, which I haven't used a lot of Megas in my challenge runs, but I feel like this is fair to use Mega Blaziken. But from there, we're going to face off against Tate and Liza next. Tate and Liza will be the 7th gym leader in the game. We actually start the battle off using my camera up and Matt Cargo. Not a Blaziken this time. So surprisingly, I thought this was optimal because I want to keep my Blaziken under level so it doesn't get over level because I'm going to use them for the next few fights. My plan was to use Yawn and then just to rush one of the sides with Overheat. Didn't work out too well because they set up a light screen. Kind of looked like Goofy. My camera up also gets put to sleep also, so that was pretty bad. So I had to go for an Overheat and switch out to my Blaziken. From there, Solrock's actually low in HP, so we decided to target that thing down. Lunatone is asleep, but once it wakes up, it's probably going to hit my Blaziken. Luckily enough, it stays asleep this turn, and I'm able to go for a double kick against him. It's going to unfortunately wake up, hit me with a Psychic, which hurts really badly, but with the damage, I'm able to just basically keep using double kick. She's forced to heal up, and just based off that, we're able to just knock out the Lunatone. We even get an Ancient Power crit to knock her out, so it works out. We're able to beat down Tate and Liza, and from there, we have access to Dive. Firstly, we can go out and obviously get ourselves a Firestone to evolve our Vulpix into a Ninetales. Finally, a useful Pokemon. And then from there, we're going to face up against Archie. This was a pretty easy battle using my Ninetales just to beat down Archie's Pokemon. And then when he sends out his Mega Sharpedo, I can go out to my Blaziken. Since he doesn't have a water move, I'm able to knock him out with my double kick. And yeah, we're able to beat down Archie. Really easy battle. Now, from there, here comes the hard battle. We're going to have to do a bit of setup. So firstly, we can go into the Safari Zone, get ourselves the TM for Energy Ball. And we're also going to go out into this berry forest, where we can get every single berry besides the berry we need. We're going to get ourselves a Pastel Berry, which is going to nullify one super effective water move, which, with my calculations, I am able to survive one with my Ninetales. Everything else dies, unfortunately, because it's going to be heavy rain against Kyogre and everything. So we're going to start the battle off against this Primal Kyogre using my Ninetales with a Pastel Berry and also Energy Ball. I was hoping for Hypnosis, but it does not learn that move. But I'm going to go for Energy Ball on the first turn as the Kyogre goes for an Aqua Ring. And then I'll say, okay, that's fine. I go for an Energy Ball again. It goes for another one. And I'm like, okay, Energy Ball. And it goes for a third one. And I'm like, okay, so I just beat the Kyogre, and I was like, okay, I just wasted like 20 minutes looking for all these items and doing all the calculations for it just to use Aqua Ring 3 times. Okay, we'll just take that again. I was kind of expecting to lose a Pokemon anyways, but without losing one, it works out pretty well. Once you beat Kyogre, you have access to the National Dex, and you can actually Dex Nav some new Pokemon. Since unfortunately we got Vulpix from Mount Pyre, we can't get Growlithe, but we can still get Ponyta on the Jagged Path. And it's going to be a little bit, it's kind of hard to, I did not know how hard it was to Dex Nav on this route specifically. This is like the worst route to Dex Nav. And yeah, this is so annoying. Eventually, we're going to find ourselves a shiny Ponyta, added to your team, which should have kept the blue when it's fully evolved, but you know what? It's fine. Once we get ourselves a ponytail, we're gonna face off against Wallace next. Wallace is the 8th and final gym leader in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my Ninetales. Newly found love for Ninetales. We're gonna face off against his Love-This with my Ninetales to Nasty Plot up, and then he's gonna confuse me. I don't hit myself in confusion this entire time, but I kept using Nasty Plot since it can't do too much damage with Water Pose. Just until I break out of confusion, and which I do eventually. I'm able to go for an energy ball and knock out the Love-This, and I should outspeed everything as I one-shot the Maltake, his ace, and we should one-shot everything on his team now as we're able to beat down Wallace and get ourselves the 8th gym badge in the game. So pretty easy for a fire team only. It's going pretty well for us. From there, we can move out into Victory Road and just spam our Ninetales. We're gonna face up against Wally next, beat down Wally with just our Ninetales, which is really nice. From there, we're going to move out into the Elite Four and the Pokemon League itself. Once we're in the Pokemon League, our first challenge we're going to face off against is going to be Sydney. Sydney's a Dark-type Elite Four member in the game, and he's going to start the battle off against us using Mightyena. We're going to start the battle off against him using my camera up, which, surprise, we have the other Pokemon. We can go for an Eruption first as he goes for a Swagger. It works out for us because we don't hit ourselves in confusion. Knock out the Mightyena pretty well. His next Pokemon will be a Sharpedo. I didn't want to stay in, but it does have Aqua Jet and I can't do too much against it, so I just had to stay in. Take the Aqua Jet. If my camera goes down, it goes down. It doesn't actually hit itself in confusion. I'm able to go for an Earth Power and knock out the Sharpedo. Now the reason I did that is because most likely I'm not gonna outspeed Aqua Jet, obviously, and also it does too much damage, so I have to just take it. Either the camera goes down or I knock out the Sharpedo. It was one or the other. From there, he's gonna switch out into his Shift Tree as I'm able to go out into my Rapidash, and Rapidash should end the battle. One Flame Charge would knock out the Shift Tree as his next Pokemon will be an Absol. I go for a Flare Blitz just because I need a guaranteed damage. Knock out the Absol and knock out the Cacturne in one shot each as we're able to beat down Sydney and clear through the first room. Next up, we're going to face off against Phoebe next. Phoebe is going to be the Ghost-type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my camera once again. As she starts the battle off against us using a Dusclops, go for Eruption. One-shot it. Eruption, so nice to use. One of my favorite moves of all time. Her next Pokemon will be a Sableye, which I go for an Eruption as well. It goes for a Fake Out, but you know what? Eruption will knock out the Sableye as her next Pokemon will be a Banette. Go for a Lava Plume. It burns it. And it's going to spam Lava Plume. I should have went for Eruption. I was just kind of nervous about losing all the PP for it. But we're able to knock out the Banette. And then her next Pokemon will be another Banette. We're able to knock that thing out with my camera up, even though it's going to be a little annoying. Her final Pokemon will be a Dusknoir, which I don't want to stay in, even though I have 69 HP. From there, I'm going to switch out into my Magcargo, which, ironically enough, actually walls this thing pretty well. I'm going to go for an Ancient Power, getting down to low HP and not low, well, it's kind of ironic. I went for low HP and then Overheat. Should have went for Overheat like earlier, but we're able to knock out the Dusknoir, and we're also going to learn a new move called Flamethrower, which we're going to learn, and you'll see why it actually came in handy. But from there, we're going to face off against Glacia next. Glacia is the 3rd Elite Four member in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Ninetales, because Ninetales pretty much walls this Glalie. We're able to go for 3 Nasty Plots in front of this Glalie as it goes for a Light Screen. I want to waste some turns, obviously, get that Light Screen down. Eventually, this can knock me down to not comfortable HP with Crunch, but we're able to go for a Flamethrower and knock out the Glalie. Light Screen goes down. Her next Pokemon will be a Walrein. I do still have my Rose Incense from the Wallace fight, as I'm able to go for an Energy Ball and knock out the Walrein. I don't think the Rose Incense actually matter, but her next Pokemon will be a Frostlass, which I'm able to outspeed both of them. I'm able to knock out both her Frostlass pretty easily, and her final Pokemon will be a Glalie, which I'm able to go for a Flamethrower and one-shot that thing as it goes for a Protect. But we're able to knock him out, and we're able to beat down Glacia pretty easily. So looking like a flawless run, I'm not gonna lie. From there, we're going to face off against Drake next. I don't have an answer for Drake. I'm okay with losing a Pokemon here. I just want to beat this run. We're going to start the battle off against Drake using my Magcargo. And remember that Heart Scale I said earlier? Yep, I still have Yawn as a move. So I'm going for a Yawn against Altaria as he goes for a Dragon Breath. Crits me, kind of annoying, but I go for a Shell Smash. Now, my biggest gripe with Shell Smash is that I'm not worried about it knocking out anything, but Magcargo is so slow that I was afraid that anything on Drake's team could still outspeed me, so I was very worried for some reason. But I'm able to get +6 as he actually switches out into his Flygon, as I get my final Shell Smash up, and then Flamethrower actually knocks out the Flygon, which is really nice. His next Pokemon will be his King Shell, which I wasn't worried about. I'm able to go for Ancient Power and knock out pretty easily. Now, he then sends out his Salamence, which I was afraid of that he might outspeed me. Plus 6 works out as I'm able to outspeed the Salamence, knock him out with an Ancient Power. And then his next Pokemon will be his Altaria, which I'm able to go for an Ancient Power once again and knock out. And then his final Pokemon will be another Flygon, which I'm able to go for a Flamethrower and easily one-shot him and knock out Drake. Flawless still. We're still undefeated, still flawless in this fire-only run. We're gonna move on into the champion, the final fight in the game. We're starting the battle off against Steven Stone using my camera against his Skarmory, which works out as I'm able to go for a Lava Plume against him. As he goes for a Toxic and misses, things are aligning so well. We're able to go for a Lava Plume again as he goes for a Full Restore to burn him and knock him out. His next Pokemon will be an Aggron, which I go for a Lava Plume hoping for a burn. I survive an Earthquake pretty easily as well, as I'm able to go for another Lava Plume and survive a Stone Edge, just barely. Knock him out with a Lava Plume. And then his next Pokemon will be a Claydol, which I don't really have an answer for. He's part Ground and part Psychic type. I go out into my Rapidash, take an Earth Power, which is unfortunate, but I go for a Mega Horn. Maybe I could have gone for Bounce, but the damage here is very, very important. I go for a Mega Horn, takes him down to low HP, forces him to use another Full Restore as I go out into my Blaziken. Blaziken's able to go for a Mega Evolution and also go for a Power Punch, and then from there go for a Fire Punch. 2 Fire Punches will knock out the Claydol, as this next Pokemon will be a Cradily. From there, I'm going to go for a Bulk Up against the Cradily as he goes for a Confuse Ray. Kind of annoying, but I need to eventually knock him out. So I go for a Double Kick immediately. Doesn't knock him out because of the Reflect. And then he's going to go for a Sludge Bomb. Lucky enough, I don't get poison in this situation. So I'm able to go for another Double Kick. Unfortunately, the Confuse Ray gets me and I hit myself in confusion as it hits me with another Sludge Bomb. Luckily enough, it works out for me as I'm able to go for a Double Kick, snap out of confusion, and knock out the Cradily. And now the only thing standing in my way is going to be this Armato, because I could one-shot the Metagross, and it works out pretty well for me as I'm able to go for a Fire Punch against the Armato and one-shot him in his chest, which is really nice. His final Pokemon will be his Mega Metagross, which I'm able to outspeed because of the speed boost, and also knock him out in one shot because I'm a Blaziken, and because I have 2 Bulk Ups up, I'm able to knock out the Mega Metagross and finally beat down Steven Stone, redeem myself with only 1 death in this Oras run completely. This hardcore Nuzlocke run is over. Redemption is back. We beat through Oras using only fire type Pokemon, and it feels so good. Well, unfortunately, we lose a Pokemon at the end, but normally I would be upset about that. I'm glad I got redemption. It's almost necessary to sack Rapidash in that situation, but it works out so well. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this run down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I am out for the week.